So, for those that are waiting for videos of me gardening and planting, and you can see why it takes so long for me to get out here. This snowbank, in the last 3 years, it's been May 1st before the last bit melts off of this, out of our front lawn. You can see the bird bath. You know what I mean? We're midway through January. February normally we'll have some warm spells, but we can get a ton of snow. I've seen a lot of times February. Well, actually, you've seen in the last 2 years that I've put videos on. February, we usually get mired, so this fountain will be covered. The arbor here, which will be replaced next year, that gets buried. Hello, fellow gardeners and homesteaders. I want to take this time to give you some updates, some of the things that have been going on here in my neck of the woods. I also want to share some goals that I have for this year. But I also want to help some smaller channels that maybe you've never heard of, some that I've been following. I'm also going to show you some video clips of what it looks like here we are, January 14th, 2019. So I'm going to show some video of what it looks like here in Brownville Junction, Maine. It's not green. In fact, it's not even brown. Brown was covered up the first time in the middle of October, I think. So let's start with some of those shout-outs that I said I was going to do. I am going to try to name some of the channels that I follow, each video that I do, because I think it's important. I believe it's important that we try to help one another out. Isn't that what this is all about? Not just sharing what we want to do, sharing the things that we're doing, but also helping out the other channels, because we're all trying to do the same thing. So I think that's important. So the first channel I want to mention is Homesteading the Hard Way. Now, I can't remember how exactly I found this channel, but I've been watching his videos and I've enjoyed conversing with him. And one of the things that I promised him a few days ago is when I made the next video that I would share his name and try to lead other ones to his channel. He raises pigs, and I mean, he does a great job raising them. He also has some beef cows. He talks about tractors and equipment repair. Now, I'm going to leave a link to his channel below so that you can check him out and let him know that I led you to him. You know, if I tell somebody that I do something, I try to do that. So just give him some love. Another channel that I found just a few days ago is Smith Family Ranch. This is a young family, and they're raising Aberdeen cattle. I've never heard of them before. They're a smaller breed of cattle, which I guess makes it really great for small homesteaders. You know, if you have a small amount of property, means they're not going to eat as much. But when I was watching, especially one of the videos, these are beautiful, beautiful animals. And the other thing that really struck me is how this young family works together. I mean, even the kids, they have chores and they help out, and check them out. Great family. Another one I found a few days ago is James Sween. Now, he lives in Wisconsin, and he has videos on how-to videos. James will also show you some historical places there, and I even saw some drag racing type videos. So check his channel out. And last but not least, this is another one that I just found recently, PG Nano Farm, and I'll leave a link to that that one too. Again, this is a young family trying to be more self-sufficient. The youngsters are helping out. And I know that I have seen on quite a few channels that I'm subscribed to and I watch. I see a lot of commenting from this channel. So it's good. They're actively replying, watching other channels too. And I think this is a big part of what we should be doing. So give them a watch along with all the other channels that I mentioned. And again, I'll leave a link to all of these channels below. Now, what I want to get into is my accomplishments in 2018. I know this is something that a lot of homesteaders are doing. Probably a lot of the other gardening channels, some of the other channels. This is what they're doing, sharing accomplishments in 2018. One is I reached 200 subscribers. My plan last year was to do a lot of videos, and things came up. I was helping somebody else out, which took a lot of my time. I had some health issues that was a struggle. For me to take a camera out there and record everything I do, I don't think of that. And that's something that I have to gear myself up to as I get ready for 2019. So for all those that help reach that goal, that 200, that was my goal for last year, is to hit 200. I thought I could do it in a month's time, but if you're not active, people aren't going to come. So my goal is to be active this year. I got the back of the house sided. That was an eyesore. So to get that done, and in a video that I'm going to show in a few minutes, I will show you that. Our porch coming off into the kitchen, the entry of our house, got that painted, all cleaned, all painted. It looks nice. On one of the instant garages that I have, some of you in the video that I was cleaning up the snow last year, you might remember the man that was staying with us. Dave built these barn type doors. Now this building that we're using right now is going to be a storage building, or it is a storage building. I put my garden tools in, yard tools, but this spring half of that is going to be completely cleaned out and used to raise our new rabbits in. Now our main garden, I have a 30 by 35 garden, and again I'll show you what that looks like right now. It's mounded with snow. Recovered it with the wood chips. I do the Back to Eden garden, which I am so excited to start sharing this spring how I do that. I'll take you along as I plant, how I cover that garden. So that should be a fun garden, and it should be an educational video for everybody that watches. I also started to build a deck last fall. The first part is going to be done in probably 3 phases. The first part was an 8 by 17 deck. The first time that I've ever done a project like this. It was a learning experience, and I'll show you in the video some pictures of that. Actually, you can probably see right now. I've had some carpenters come. They came to visit me, and they said this deck is never going to move. So I'm excited. I now have a GMC pickup. This was a great accomplishment. Even though it's an older pickup, it's not all rusted out. For being a 91 GMC pickup, it's not rusted out. It runs good. And now I don't have to hire somebody to haul things. Every time that I need something big hauled, I don't need to hire somebody to do that. So I also started a sidewalk. Now the sidewalk runs from our porch entry. It runs down along a slate garden that I built. I think it was the second year that we were here. We moved in. Our first move was the day of 9/11. Anyways, the following year I built this rock wall, slate wall. So, anyways, I started this coming spring. I'm gonna do the step down. There's gonna be 2 steps, and then have it follow along to go to the deck. And then I'm going to be filling in the driveways so that I have more of a slant, so I don't have water running into the low spots. It will drain out to the road. Also, some of the groundwork that I need to do to raise the level. Because when I go out to my garden, I have to walk in these dips. And I'm telling you, in the spring, when the snow is melting, I am over ankle deep in water. So something I need to take care of there. So I'll hopefully be able to video that and show you how I'm doing that. Another big goal is our ministry is growing. We also have a ministry channel. I'll leave that link. We've doubled in subscribers there. We've grown in ones that participate in the Pal Talk room, where I deliver the messages. So that's been awesome. Rabbits. We started with 3 new rabbits, December 5th. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I love rabbit meat. I haven't had it since, it's probably been 25, 30 years since I've had rabbit meat. So this is great. Now, I'm going to share some of my 2019 goals, and this is just a few of those things. I have a lot of projects that I want to do, and they're probably projects that I won't get done, but this is some of the things I want to do. I am in hopes to grow this channel to 1,000 subscribers this year. And the reason that I want to do this, it's not about the money. I want to help other people who garden. I want to help other people who might be thinking about raising chickens or raising rabbits, and all the other things that I do. This is my purpose. The other thing is I want to learn from other people. I've been watching a lot of videos. I have worms. I have 4 worm bins going. Probably going to have 5, maybe even 6 in the next couple weeks. But also, I want to help support other channels. This is my goals for the channels. I would like to build our Rabbitry this year up to 6 quality breeding New Zealand does. I want to raise quality meat for my family. I'll know what's in that meat. I'll know how they were raised. I'll know how they were processed. Also, I'd like to be able to sell some meat. This is meat that anybody who's interested in high quality meat, they'll know where to come. The other thing is I want to be able to sell some breeding stock to other people so they can get involved in doing this for their families. I also want to find a quality mini Rex satin buck. We have a mini Rex satin doe. And what I want to do is to be able to start raising some beautiful cuddly bunnies to be able to sell to some good homes. Some children can enjoy having a cute little bunny. And I will be careful on who I sell them to. Now, and this is huge for this channel. I want to be able to share my garden methods, my experiences, whether the good ones, the bad ones. And I want to be able to share these in a way that everybody can learn from. Everybody can try to be successful on their own. So many people, when I was doing some of the videos on raising impatiens and pansies, and when I was doing the tomatoes and the peppers and topping the peppers, I had a lot of people, especially from the UK, that had stated they only have a small porch that they can raise vegetables on, or even flowers. So I want to be able to do videos that will explain this. You can do flower pots on the porch. That's part of what I want to do, is have a small herb garden built into this deck, where I can have fresh herbs for my bride. I can grow some flowers. I can grow even some smaller, like tomato plants, patio type tomato plants. So I want to be able to show people how to be able to do this. I plan on recording and making and starting different type worm bins. I have one particular type worm bin that I've been using now, and I love this. So what I'm going to do is make videos including how I make this, which is very simple. I'll show you how I start it. Possibly I'll show you, depending on where I am when I make that video, I'll show you how I screen my compost. But I want to show in my compost bins how I screen it, how I screen my compost from my chicken run. I want to show how I compost with leaves and vegetable scraps and other kinds of sources. How I use my worm castings, how I use my rabbit marbles, if you will. For anybody that didn't catch that, rabbit manure, how I'm going to use that. I'm using it in 2 of my worm bins right now. I have 4 worm bins. 2 of them I'm going to use it. 2 of them I'm not, because there's ones who I sell worm castings to. It's not important what they're using it for, and I'll let you guess on that, but they don't want rabbit manure in there. So, anyways, I have a 10 by 17 portable garage, and this, probably in the summer, late spring, summer, I'm going to be moving that into my garden spot, turning it into a greenhouse, and I'll have low, what are they called? Low hoop covers, low tunnels that I'll be planting and harvesting later on in the fall, early winter here, and I can start it earlier. So my goal is to show that process, and there's the possibility that I can get another one. So this will give me a 10 by 34 feet greenhouse. Now, a deck build. I mentioned I built a part of a deck, a 8 by 17 foot, I think, deck. Now, my intentions are to add on to this deck, which will go the whole length of the house. And on one corner, I plan on building a gazebo around it. So that's going to be interesting. Now, probably this is all going to be done in steps because I'm one person. And like I said, I have a lot of goals. So what I plan on doing is videoing the steps that I take. And then when it's done, I'll have a video where everything is put together. And I'll share it that way. Now, something that I've really been toying around with is learning how and starting to do some live feeds. To be able to have a question and answer time. I have seen this done on so many other channels, and I think it's a great way to learn how to share great ideas, how to just converse with other people, build friendships, support each other. So shortly I might be starting that. And like I said, I'm going to need help with that. Anybody that wants to give me some thoughts, share how to do it, I'm all ears. And finally, tomorrow, I plan on doing something that's going to help some of the other small channels, help them to get over that 1,000 mark. So what I'm going to be doing is, I may do it today, but I won't post it until tomorrow. I'm going to be tagging 10 channels, and I'm going to ask those 10 channels to tag 10 other channels. So be watching for that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you to where I was this morning. I'm going to give you kind of a quick trip around this probably 3/4 acre place that we are. You have to remember it was cold. We were 10 below. When I was out doing that video, I think we were somewhere around 16 or 18 below this morning early. So Hope you enjoyed this part. So let's watch what happened this morning. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, this is Satin. She is a... Yeah, let me get this right. A Red Rex Mini Satin. She's a small girl. Wasn't exactly what I was hoping to get, but I think she'll make where we're planning on breeding her for pet rabbits. So soft. Her fur is so soft. Good girl, aren't you, baby? Oh, it's okay. It's okay. She's a small one. Usually she's very affectionate. And then we have Rex. Rex is a Red Rex. He's a big boy. Big boy. We weighed him the day we got him. He weighs 11 pounds. In fact, we used him to breed our other doe, which is down here. Oh. This is Sugar. Sugar loves to be pet, and she loves to eat. So anyways, we bred her yesterday. Hi, sweetie. Come on. Oh, good girl. It's okay. Anyways, we bought these three. It'll be 2 weeks this coming Saturday. It was December 5th when we got them. Having to use a bowl for her water. That one water bottle isn't working. I'm going to have to get some more. Thing is, it's about an hour to get to a store where we can get any of that stuff. So anyways, this is our three bunnies for the time being. In April, there's a show that we're going to be going to, and I'm hoping that we can pick up some New Zealand whites. Hey, big boy. Yeah, hello, Sugar. Next year, all these rabbits will be in a building, which I'll show you here in a few minutes outside. It's minus 10 degrees right now, so I'm not real anxious about going out in the cold, but I want to get this video out. I'm following a lot of rabbit channels. I'm following a lot of garden channels, worm bin channels. So, you know, I know there's going to be ones, oh, you've got wire cages. That's hard on the rabbit's feet. Actually, when we got this one, I didn't look these rabbits over real well. Satin did have a sore foot, and we've been treating that. But with these plastic liners, and I highly recommend. For my bigger rabbits, I'm not going to do it. I've got 2 on each one, but on this cage, I'm going to do the whole thing. These are a little pricey, but they're a smooth plastic, and she spends most of her time on this, so I'm going to do the rest of her cage like this. But with Rex and Sugar, they're fine on these. Yes, they'll spend some time on that, but they go everywhere. Okay, I'm not sure how well this is showing up. And then I'm watching all these people getting ready to start planting. Some people have got, I know I got to fill the bird feeder up. People are getting ready to start plants, and
You know, that goes to show there is a little drop off here. There's a step, but with the fountain that we turned into a planter, you can see, you know, we've got snow. You can look behind there, and actually that whole ground slopes down towards the road. Over here, there's a garage. Over here, you can see how they pile the snow up there. Here's a for instance on, normally there's bleeding hearts planted here. And if I look at the front of the house, you can see there's quite a mound of snow built up. So let me go down here. This is a little bit icy. This is why it's taking a little time to walk down here, but let me give you an idea of how much snow we've got. I mean, there's a lot of snowbank. That's a lot of snow there. And we're only mid-January. This is a rock wall that I built. And you can't really see much of it. It's all built out of slate. I did that the year after that we bought the house. This is a deck that I built last year. I still need to do the railings, a few other things on it. This cover it. We got this at Tractor Supply. This is going to turn into a greenhouse. Because the sun is right behind me, it's hard to see what's in it. But anyways, this is going to turn into a greenhouse and go into the garden. There's a guy down the road that has one of these same type buildings, and I'm going to see if I can buy the hoops. That's a 10 by 17, so if I can put the two together, that will be quite a greenhouse. And then I plan on doing the low tunnels underneath. Now on this deck, my plan is, and I'm hoping I can do it next year, is I'm going to bring it from there along the whole back of the house. That will give me about 50 feet. Actually, it's going to be a little over 50 feet long, and I'm going to go somewhere, I'm either going to go 10 or 12 feet width on this. And what I'm hoping for is that I can have a, what do you call it? Not an arbor. A gazebo over on this corner, which will take up, well, I'll do designs later. Last year we got the back of the house sided. That needed to be done a long time ago. For those that remember Dave, last year when I did the video of cleaning up the snow, Dave was the one that was shoveling. This is his vehicle. We're hoping that he can get it registered and he can start driving it on his own. And it would be off the lawn. Anyways, this is, I don't know if you saw it when I came around. This is a pickup I picked up last year. We got it real reasonable. So, my garden. Here is the entryway of my garden. This garden is about 30 by 35. You can see the fence post. You can see the snowbank behind the garden. Like I said, that's from the garage across the road. All the snow that they have over there comes over actually they're on my property, but that's all right. I can't do anything with that this time of year anyways. I've got a 16-foot flatbed trailer in here. I had kept it here in the garden spot just to keep it out of the way, and so that I could get to it. There's a possibility that I'll be picking up some tongue and groove boards. We're planning on doing our hall and our bathroom and one other room with the tongue and groove pine. And then I've got a bunch of stuff that's got to be cleaned up. Fall came so quick, that and I wasn't real healthy during the fall. I had an operation a year ago last June, and there were complications with it. Now on this cover it, got the doors on it. I believe it was Thanksgiving time. And I'm not sure how much you're seeing. I want to put a roof on this. I'm not sure if I'm going to go metal roof or if I'm going to go with the, what do they call it, polycarbonate, I think. Haven't decided. This is a 12 by 20, and my plan is on this side of it, the left side of it, having my rabbit cages in there. I've also got a freezer that I use to store grain in. It's a freezer that doesn't work, chest freezer. So I store all my grains in it. With the chickens, I mix their feed. I use some of the commercial pellets. And then I use oats, barley, when I can, wheat. I do have some cracked corn, sunflower seeds, some that I've bought, some that I've raised. This is the chicken coop here. Another plan for this year is to take that door out and put a door with a screen, and also a window, just so that they get that sun during the day. Compost bins. I know there's been some that have been talking. This is my chicken run out here. When it's not cold, I let them go out in this run. I try to keep it shoveled. Those are all gourds that that I gave them about a week ago, and they've been picking at it. Compost bin, this one here is one that I got started early winter. This has corn stalks that I started to take from the front of the house. Leanna had the house decorated during the fall, and my chicken manure. This bin here, I used most of this up. There's a little bit in the bottom. Of course, I'm not going to be able to do anything with it until spring when it thaws out. This one here, this had some stuff that I had put in last fall. Now I'm using it just for the manure that comes out of the chicken coop. Right next to it is my asparagus bed. Now we get a ton of asparagus out of this bed. It's 4 by, I'm going to say about 4 by 20, maybe 4 by 16. This path I just leave open so that me and my neighbor can talk to each other, and so that I can get into the chicken run, so I can clean the snow out there. And then I've got 2 bins here. I know it's going to be hard to see. This bin right here in front, 4 by 30. This one, last year I used for all my cold plants, my broccoli, cauliflower, yeah, I guess just broccoli and cauliflower. There's a couple herbs in there. This year I planted garlic, where you see that post. So from that post towards the house, that's got garlic in it. And then there's a big snowbank here. This is another 4 by 30. That is planted to potatoes. I plant my potatoes in the fall. When I harvest my potato, I put my biggest potato right back into the soil. So I should do really well with that this year. It's soil that I'm building up. I've been doing this for about 3 years in this bed. As I was talking to one of my newest subscribers, I have nothing but sand. My soil is nothing but sand. Plants don't do well in just sand. So I've added a lot of compost to this pile. I've added a lot of leaves that I've ground up, run through a chipper. This past fall, of course, I do the wood chips in it. The wood chips, for the most part, were pretty much depleted out of this bin, or out of this raised bed. So I put 3 5-gallon pails of worm castings in it. Probably half of my compost pile, that 4x4x4 compost pile, almost all finished material, went into this bed. And then I covered it with wood chips, a good 4 to 6 inch layer of wood chips. So I'm thinking as that breaks down, this is going to be an awesome potato bed this year. Here is a boat. Maybe I'll take you through this process. I want to do new seats in it. There's some work that I've got to do on it because I do plan on doing some fishing. Maybe I'll do some fishing videos. Like I said, the truck, and I can show you the receipt on this. It's a 1991 GMC. I paid $300 for it. Don't tell everybody. My apple trees, this is something, if somebody wants to help me on my apple trees, I have an awful time with worms on this apple tree, both apple trees. And I don't want to spray them with chemicals if I can get away with it. I just don't know what to use that would work well organically. Same with this one. This one is a Red Delicious. This one is a yellow transparent. I've had these for about 7 or 8 years. Started some trimming last year on them. But yeah. So, for those that are waiting for videos of me gardening and planting, and you can see why it takes so long for me to get out here. This snowbank, in the last 3 years, it's been May 1st before the last bit melts off of this, out of our front lawn. You can see the bird bath. You know what I mean? We're midway through January. February normally we'll have some warm spells, but we can get a ton of snow. I've seen a lot of times February. Well, actually, you've seen in the last 2 years that I've put videos on. February, we usually get mired, so this fountain will be covered. The arbor here, which will be replaced next year, that gets buried. So yeah, you gotta love it. Winter in Maine, it makes you tough.